The New Zealand football chief executive Andy Martin has broken his silence over the controversy surrounding under-fire Football Ferns coach Andreas Heraf. The Austrian has copped plenty of criticism from fans of the sport in this country after his team adopted an ultra-defensive approach in their 3-1 loss to Japan last Sunday, with some supporters calling for him to stand down with immediate effect. Martin spoke to media in the last hour via a conference call from Russia, where he's currently there for the Congress of the global governing body FIFA. Now, sports reporter Clay Wilson was on that conference call and joins me now in the studio. What was the tone of the call, Clay?
One of the more interesting conference calls I've been on, or calls in general, for a while. Media have been waiting to speak to Andy Martin for a number of days now. Of course, he's the head of the organisation. This has been a fairly substantial saga, so a good 8 or 9 reporters very intent to ask some serious questions. So it was an interesting mood, to say the least.
How did he handle the questions? I mean, was it just a brain explosion after the match? Maybe his frustration coming out, or was it something deeper there?
Yeah, I think probably Andy Martin's had some days now to digest this and come up with some responses. So, I mean, largely it was supportive of Andreas Heraf, the man in the gun here. But I think probably, Martin has made some apologies for things that went on, but largely he has backed Heraf and his future.
Right, because there's still calls for Andreas Heraf to resign immediately. I mean, what was the reaction to that by Andy Martin?
Yeah, he was asked point blank if he would be seeking Heraf's resignation, to which he answered no. Basically explaining that they still feel he's the most qualified man for the job. They still believe that he's the man to take this team forward. He did apologise, as I said, for some of the comments Heraf made around the team and their ability to compete. But what he did point to is the team haven't won a game at the World Cup the last 2 cycles or ever. So he said there was need for change, and sometimes change wasn't easy. They had to go through that, but he did sort of apologise for that. And Heraf also commented about the technical ability of the team. And Martin said perhaps they don't have that now, but they should still aspire to that. So I guess there was some things he took issue with what Heraf said, and he's certainly going to have a good sit down with him when he gets back. But as I said, largely supportive and I guess trying to back his man.
You mentioned that he had concerns on the technical play. Obviously, you want a lot of support from a coach, but we know that one of his other jobs is the technical director of New Zealand football. Did they have anything to say about his ongoing role there? Yeah,
well, fans and supporters and players of the sport in this country are concerned because he has this overarching role. Is that going to flow down, this negative style of play that we saw from the Ferns on Sunday? Is this going to flow down to the grassroots, to the young kids playing, to the youth development teams, our age group teams? Martin basically said that he didn't think that was the case. He thinks that this is simply a case of the Ferns being in this particular position and needing to play this way and, I guess, develop their game. He's confident that there is still a lot of people out there, despite all the criticism we've had from the fans, that support Heraf, coaches and players that support him and what he's doing. Runs contrary to a large part of what we've seen on social media and just out and about in the football community. But they believe they've got the support, and as I said, they're not planning on Heraf stepping down or asking him to step down in any way.
Okay, we'll follow that further. Clay Wilson, thanks so much for your time and for that update. Clay has been on a conference call in the last hour with Andy Martin, reporters, and of course the topic being that embattled Football Ferns coach Andreas Heraf. So we will keep you up to date with that.